Roger Stone. So, does anyone know Roger Stone? Anyone at all? Anyone? No? No one? Okay. Well, Roger Stone is an internet pastor who, of course, is very right-wing and has some very crazy beliefs, some very odd beliefs, specifically about Trump. He thinks that Trump saved him somehow. I don't know how he saved him, but it's a good thing we have an article to learn about that. President Donald Trump commuted the prison sentence of Roger Stone Friday, offering refuge to an ally who espoused violent rhetoric, bigotry, and conspiracy theories, and cozy up to violent hate groups and conspiracy theorists. Yeah, so Pastor Stone over here, yeah, he actually had to be pardoned for a lot of the shit he said for a little bit. Yeah, we can talk a little bit. Just he looks like Doc. He kind of does. Surprisingly, he kind of does look like Doc Ock. Yeah. So he had to be pardoned for a lot of shit he said. If you don't know what he said, well, good thing here is here's a little article that asks who he is and why that happened. Who is Roger Stone, and why does Trump's Justice Department want to go easy on him? Roger Stone, who was arrested and charged Friday morning, has a long career as a right-wing Republican, self-described dirty trickster, and whose do-whatever-it-takes ethos made him perfect fit for the amoral bullying campaign of Donald Trump and the hero to the trolling conspiracy theory-promoting crowd he helped rally around Trump. Stone has repeatedly denied wrongdoing and said he would never buckle to pressure from Mueller to turn on Trump. While the White House has tried to distance Trump from Stone, that won't be so easy for one. There's a Netflix documentary entirely about how Stone helped Trump take the GOP nomination to the White House. And since his arrest, Stone has been claiming that he is being persecuted for his 40-year friendship with Trump. Stone's partnership with InfoWars and Alex Jones, who Stone called the single most important voice in alternative conservative media, gave him a platform from which to promote conspiracy theories designed to inflame right-wing activists and boost Trump as a candidate to later be president. So, basically this man was kind of an InfoWars associate. It's really hard to actually narrow down whether he was actually, like, he wasn't like Paul Joseph Watson kind of levels, you know? But he was still pretty involved with InfoWars. And, yeah, it's not great. Not a good look for him, you know, some might say. Not your best look, sweetie. But, yeah, he was very influential with the Trump election within the primaries. I mean, like, hugely. Now, throughout his investigation, he was getting shown to be more and more on the radical side, specifically through his work with InfoWars. He wasn't really fully arrested or charged, but he still received a pardon, which is noteworthy. But yeah, he's got a lot of really off-the-wall conspiracy theories. Of course, not so much off-the-wall now, since they are coming to light that a lot more Republicans are running on those platforms. But enough off-the-wall enough to where it's worrying. And, yeah. So, we'll get back to our original article. Right this way. Stone is a close associate of the Proud Boys, which has been responsible for multiple violent incidents across the nation. He's recruited members of the group as private security, attending a political rally with a gaggle of members in 2018. The group has stayed loyal to Stone, with organization leaders attending Stone's court appearances in D.C., wearing pro-Stone swag. In a recent interview with some of the most prominent podcasters of the QAnon conspiracy theory, Stone spoke approvingly of the QAnon movement, which the FBI considers a domestic terrorism risk. During his appearance on the pro-QAnon show, Stone encouraged the associate movement, saying that he hoped Q was real. Yeah, so he likes the Proud Boys. He brings them everywhere he can. And he's also pretty into QAnon, if that tells you anything. Now, why is this important? Well, Stone is a longtime friend of Donald Trump and a longtime GOP fixer who has worked on behalf of former President Richard Nixon, Reagan, H.W. Bush. In 2015, Stone worked as the early advisor and consultant to Trump's presidential campaign. Although the duo formally parted ways with each other in August of that year, Stone continued to organize for Trump throughout the entire campaign season and Trump's first term. Stone teamed up with far-right conspiracy theorist shock jock Alex Jones as a media partner and co-organizer of a rally at the 2016 Republican National Convention that featured what would become some of the highest-profile pro-Trump voices of the Trump era, including Milo Yiannopoulos, Diamond and Silk, Ed Martin, and Kelly Ward. So, yeah. Pretty big Trump guy. Had a lot to do with organizing for Trump and Trump's campaign. And was a big voice in the investigations that Mueller pushed on into Trump. And, yeah. Eventually, like, when Trump got in the White House, of course he was, pardoned. Of course he was. He helped Trump get there, so Trump better, cover him. Right? So, yeah. So he pushes a lot of conspiracy theories, and he's very vocal of some very fringe movements that are very destructive. Of course, they're not so fringe anymore now that it's no longer 2016. And he's to thank to that. The Proud Boys probably have a lot to thank Stone for. QAnon probably has a lot to thank for Stone, considering he kind of helped them get to where they are now. So yeah. That's his thing. Hey, Windows, fuck off. It was through Stone that WikiLeaks and its founder, Julian Assange, is thought to have entered the Trump campaign orbit. Jones told listeners in late 2018 that Stone had originally contacted Assange as part of an audition for a job at Jones' InfoWars media outlet. Although Jones is notorious for making false statements, during the 2016 election, WikiLeaks published a trove of hacked emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta, an event that is widely interpreted as having contributed to Trump's victory over Clinton, and fake conspiracy theories, disinformation, and smears that cited the stolen communications. Private messages reportedly showed that Stone was in contact with Assange and Russian military intelligence from the time. Former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon testified that he saw Stone as an access point to WikiLeaks and Assange during the 2016 campaign. Now, I am a fan of WikiLeaks for the fact that they do, expose, government wrongdoings, right? I'm not going to be against that. However, I will say it was very targeted at the time to be very anti-Hillary Clinton, very pro-Trump, because at the time it was the thought on a lot of anti-government circles that Trump was the outsider because he's a populist, right? Meanwhile, Clinton was the establishment. Meanwhile, we've seen how Trump is very much not anti-establishment. He's establishment. Just he wants a new one with him at the top, right? So yeah. And with that, that's always been very influential to the election. However, his ties to WikiLeaks probably would have been ignored if it wasn't for the fact that he has ties to the Russian military. Yeah. Well, of course his ties to the WikiLeaks wouldn't be ignored because the Democrats would have pushed that to their death because, of course, they would. They're the fucking Democrats. But, yeah. Also, his ties to the Russian military was very substantial to the point that it was a good basis to the whole point that Russia had influence over the election that Democrats pushed for a while and the Republicans said was false. Yeah, turns out it wasn't actually false, considering that this was kind of a big factor into that. It wasn't the only one, there were several, but this was a big factor into it, and that's the one we're talking about. So, yeah, he did have influence over that, and yeah, he did influence Trump's, win into office. But, he's very thankful for Trump. Trump got him out of jail. He pardoned him, with the presidential pardon.
Roger, there is no one, I would say, other than President Trump, that has been attacked as much as you have been. When you see what they were able to do to you, and if it weren't for President Trump being in office to give you the pardon, and now you see where we're at now, after this stolen election and the injustice we see after January 6th, where do we go from here?
Well, first of all, let's be very clear. God himself gave Donald Trump the strength and the courage and the wisdom to pardon me. On the morning I was arrested, at 6:06 in the morning, the night before I'd fallen asleep reading the Bible, and when I heard the pounding on the door, I looked down, and the Bible was open to the Psalms. 16:8, I will not be shaken. Pastors like Mark Burns and Reverend Franklin Graham and Pastor Randy Coggins and Bishop Leon Benjamin and so many others told me to put my faith in God and that the Lord would deliver me, and he has delivered me from my persecutors. Praise Jesus. All glory to God.
God, I don't understand these people. Okay, so, Christianity says, but God up here, nothing above that. But then you get these people who are like, hey, what about Trump? He's about right there, right? Yeah. Right? Right? Yeah. I don't understand them. But, yeah. So Trump, yeah, absolutely, we pardon him. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that. The man had influence over the election, and he's got some very, very precarious ties to the far right, and where he promotes a lot of that. And hey, putting Trump in office definitely helped promote a lot of more far right radicalism within the U.S. Absolutely. And of course, he got pardoned for it because, hey, he got that man in office, right? But a lot of people may not be, may not have the thought, like, what's so bad about that, It's just politics, right? This man was just he's just so strategic. He's not that dumb, right? Well, Roger Stone claims that there is a satanic portal over the White House. Yeah, he says like this right here is a portal to hell. Oh boy, spooky, right?
We who believe, we can close the portal, but we can only close it through prayer, massive prayer. Millions of Christians praying to close the portal. If you look closely, it's like a swirling cold. I've tried to find, some natural explanation, reflection, or an aerostat balloon for weather. No, I sent a personal friend down there. He thought I was crazy. I said, hey, do me a favor, go down there, you just a regular digital camera, and see what you see. And he said,
We have that. And Roger, how long ago did they take that picture, roughly?
Those were sent to me by my friend John Ardwood. I sent another guy down because I wanted to be absolutely sure. I'm not interested in embarrassing anybody here, to expose myself. But these pictures are only several weeks old.
Okay, so while you're talking, Emily we have 3 of them from you. There's only a couple weeks old, several weeks old, you said. And remember, what we just showed you a few minutes ago is months old, 3 or 4 months at least.
Yeah.
So Emily, while you're talking, Roger, show those 3 photos that your friends took. There's that circular thing.
There you can see it. It's very, very clear. It doesn't move day or night. It's harder to see during the day, but you see it at night. And I'm absolutely convinced about the inherent, there it is again, about the inherent evil of what's going on in the White House, what's going on in the country. And I think it's imperative that people know about this, that people of good faith, that Christians know about this, and we begin a national, essentially a prayer assault to close the portal.
That's good. Now, there's one during the day that it's harder to see, but that's
but you can see it.
It's there. It's right there above the White House. So
it's always above that gable. You notice that?
Yeah. Oh,
it's right above the gable.
It is. Now, Roger, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're talking about prayer, that it needs prayer.
We have to close the portal. That's what this is about. We now,
Anyways,
as Christians.
Yeah. I wonder what big fucking round thing in the night sky that could be. I wonder what it is. Do you think it could be the fucking moon? I think it is. You know, this man is like looking up, is like, God, a big round thing in the sky. What the fuck is it? Weather balloon. Yeah. Is it a weather balloon? No? Fuck, well, I guess that was the only option. It's the fucking moon, you goddamn piece of shit. It's a moon. That's a moon. Through clouds. You ever see a red moon in the sky? It happens a good bit, you know? Happens a lot. The harvest moon, you ever heard of it? Yeah, it's a thing. What do you think the fuck that is? A satanic portal? Bro. You know how the sky works? You know? Sky works? How there's just like something off way back there? Yeah. You know, just judging on distance, I don't think that thing's directly over the White House. I think it's just in the background of it. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the fucking moon. Let's see at the daytime picture. First off, that don't look like daytime to me. That's not a bright blue sky with a big old sun somewhere. No, this is at night. This is clearly at night, bro. Like, it's like, oh, if it's at night, why isn't the sky completely black? The fucking light's on the lawn. Duh. Like, look, there's even the big ass fucking star right there. Look, there's another star. Fucking star. It's at night. What the hell is that? I don't know. Probably also still the fucking moon behind this all-encompassing fog. These motherfuckers literally saw the moon and went like, satanic portal. That's Satan right there. That's the fucking moon. These people are these people are dumb as shit and so fucking insane to where the point they see a moon that's just covered by some clouds to where it looks a little different than the big ass DreamWorks logo, you know? To where they see that and they're like, satanic portal. Biden is Satan. I hate it. These people are literally insane. It's actually just maddening because throughout most of history, I feel like these people wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Well, not throughout most of history, but in recent history. I think most of these people would have gotten anywhere. You hear that shit and you're like, they're fucking insane. Meanwhile, this man has been a perfect strategist for the Trump campaign in the 2016 election. He basically got that man to office. Like, Trump wouldn't have been anywhere near as successful without this man. And he's over here looking at the moon and saying it's a portal to Satan. Like, I'm lost, dude. Like, when I'm saying these fringe theorists and beliefs are coming more and more into the mainstream, I mean this man, since 2016, the reason why these theories have gotten pushed further is because Trump got into office, because that gave power to people like this. Now, although he's been doing it since Nixon and all that, he was far more involved with the Trump campaign than he was with the Nixon campaign, with the Reagan campaign, or with the Bush campaign. I'm lost. It hurts. Like, bro, it hurts. It hurts that this is what's happening in the country. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. What can you say to that? God, pray for us.